I got some feedback on the Dizzy Rascal episode.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I will listen to it tomorrow on my way to work. This week has been Monday was Melissa and I both commuting, and then Tuesday and today I worked remotely. So I haven't had that alone time in the car that's when I usually do that. So what's the feedback?
Brian, fan of the show.
Brian Miller.
Yeah, he said, do you want to know my biggest shocker from your Dizzy Rascal episode? I said, yes. Ron loves Lords of Acid?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's what I said. I said,
Did I drop a good track in there, Ron? I'm not.
Dude, I haven't listened to it.
Oh, you haven't listened to it? Okay.
No.
Well, when you do, let me know what you think, because
All right.
I don't know Lords of Acid.
Dude, I'll check it out.
And so I like Googled some of their top hits, and I dropped something about
dude.
Pussy, I think. I don't remember. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm due to listen to that album again. I haven't listened to it in a while. But yeah, I genuinely love Lords of Acid.
Well, I sold him. I said, like, trying to understand Ron is a mistake. He's a mystery.
It's an enigma.
Wrapped in a question mark.
It's some kind of an equation.
Amen to that.
All right, let's do this thing, shall we?
I think we could do it. We could probably do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do it.
Oh,
all right. I'm Ryan. I'm just practicing.
It's going to be that kind of night, fellas.
I'm Ryan. 100.
I'm Bert.
I'm Drew.
I'm Ron.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the 100 Albums Podcast, where we discuss the ins, the outs, and the absurdities of a poster that depicts 100 seemingly random albums. Hey, guys.
What's up?
You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, guys, we couldn't pod much higher.
Certainly not in terms of humor level. We could
not.
No,
definitely not.
We certainly couldn't get much lower.
So here we are at album number 38, closing in on the end of season 2.
Wow.
As we continue through the 100 albums that appear on a poster that Drew got a couple of years ago from Lisa. We first went through the whole poster by listening to each album and then shared our thoughts and reactions with each other via video chat. Once we were done, we thought it might be a fun little project to turn into a podcast. So let's chat about this week's album, The Doors' 1967 self-titled debut.
And before we get into the official rundown, I just want to point out the poster, Drew, these things, these connections are important. Fans, you're probably wondering where Drew is.
And is this a poster secret?
Well, if you're a regular listener of the show, you know that about a week ago, our compadre was kidnapped by a hot air balloon with a picture of Jesus on it. And while he has not returned back home yet, we have had reports from listeners in the upstate New York area. Drew has last been seen crossing Lake Erie towards Cleveland. So if folks in Ohio, if you could keep a lookout for our man Drew, or if the wind should change directions, they're kind of hard to steer, these things. So, if he's in Canada, folks, let us know. We're going to try our best to piece this together and bring Drew home.
Let us know, eh?
Yeah.
Right. He needed some back bacon and some beers.
Well, and here you guys you're laughing, but it gets really cold up in the high atmosphere, which means Drew's probably being forced to wear a shirt, and that is not how he likes to.
It's not how he normally rolls.
But Drew, he's fortunate. I mean, he's gifted in the chest hair, so hopefully that'll help him to stay warm.
I wish we all could be. Yes. Laugh now, Ron. Laugh now.
Well, hey.
I know my day's coming, man.
Well, While we contemplate members of the podcast chest hair, let's start to talk about the Doors. Vibe check, guys. What are your first impressions?
I get chest hair out of it.
I mean,
it's chesty and it's hairy.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing on this that we haven't all heard. So it's really, it's not like a lot of the stuff on the poster where I'm coming into it blind. I know every single song on this album. I think not everyone. I shouldn't say that. That's assuming people, have listened to the Doors. I don't, but there's some famous stuff on this. So the vibe, the psychedelic vibe, getting into that zone, a little harder as a 47-year-old.
Yeah.
But I still, I'm here for it. We can talk about this. My vibe is, whatever that mess of words was.
Ron, how about you?
I don't understand it, but I agree with Ryan 100%. It's, I mean, it really isn't anything groundbreaking. We have heard it. Even if you don't realize it, you've heard it. Alabama Man was like that for me. So it's all right. I give it its props because it does have its place in history. But yeah, it just didn't hold up for me neither, man.
I didn't say it didn't hold up. Now hold on. Now you're putting words into my face.
Well, it's different when
you're into my mouth.
Into your mouth. But I mean, it's different now. Like when I was 15, 16 and the Doors were having their resurgence while I was in, high school, it was everywhere. And
because of the movie.
Yeah. And it was just that big resurgence. So I haven't listened to the Doors since because I've spent all my Doors in my youth. And now it's like, I don't relate anymore. I don't find Jim Morrison off paper mind-blowing. I've heard it so much. There's nothing new for me.
Well, and that's what Ryan, before you got here, that's kind of my take too, is that it's familiar. Like we've all heard this, kind of what you were saying, Ryan. All these songs are familiar, particularly the hits that came off of it. It's good. Like Ron said, it's got its place in history.
Well, yeah, familiar doesn't have to be bad.
Right, exactly.
No.
Some of the things that I had kind of as I did a deeper listen this week or the last couple of days, and for listeners, FYI, this one was a quick turnaround, so we might not dive as deep as we normally do, but a couple of things that I jotted down were good vibes. It's interesting, but I'm not sure why I don't listen to it more often. Like it's not something that I reach for when I am looking to listen to music. A lack of bass. In my notes, just a general lack of bass guitar. There's only a couple of tracks, right?
I got stuff on that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I do like the psychedelic kind of vibe. I've got some things later on about, when we get to Good, Bad, Ugly, when we, I've got some things about the keyboards and stuff like that. So there's definitely some good things happening there. I don't want anyone to think that I'm panning it. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm familiar with this,
well,
not
but
something that's new.
At the same time, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, they are very familiar as well. But I actually put them on still. I haven't figured out why I don't put on the Doors through this, and I'm hoping I get there. But like other stuff from this time frame, I still put on. But why don't I do the Doors?
Ron, I feel like I don't know your musical tastes to a T because you are, as stated, an enigma. But I feel like there's a jam band element to this that I could see turning you the wrong way. Whereas the other album artists you just mentioned are a little bit more straight ahead rock, even in their soloing.
Yeah, I can.
All right,
that's just a guess.
Can we talk about this more on your psychiatrist couch? Because I think you uncovered a sore spot here.
All right, background. Ron, you want to?
All right, yeah.
You want to take the baton and run with it, baby?
I got this. All right. So, in doing the research, there are multiple different stories about the Manzarek brothers leaving their band and coming together, and I couldn't piece it together. So, I'm just going to read what the Doors themselves have to say about this. The group was born when Morrison and Manzarek, who'd met at UCLA's film school, met again unexpectedly on the beach in Venice, California during the summer of 65. He'd never intended to be a singer. Morrison was invited to join Manzarek's group, Rick and the Ravens, on the strength of his poetry. Now, Rick and the Ravens is where Manzarek's brothers were also in, and when they left, then everyone came together for the Doors. Krieger and Densmore, who'd played together in the band the Psychedelic Rangers, were recruited soon thereafter. Though several bassists auditioned of the new collective, none could furnish the bottom end as effectively as Manzarek's left hand. Taking their name from Aldous Huxley's psychotropic monograph, The Doors of Perception, the band signed to Elektra Records following a now legendary gig at the Whiskey on Sunset Strip. They were originally signed to Columbia, but they were on the drop list. So they asked to be off of their, to get out of their contract, and then signed with Elektra.
Well, they got signed by Elektra because of the guy from Love.
Jack Holzman, the president of Elektra Records, was present at the
Whiskey A Go-Go.
Whiskey A Go-Go.
Yeah, and it was Holzman and Rothschild.
Holzman and Rothschild saw 2 sets of the band. They signed them to Elektra Records on August 18th.
Right.
Yeah.
So, however, I thought was funny before that is they had residence at 2 other bars, the Fog and another one. Manzarek, I think it was Manzarek, said that those were largely depressing times, but they were able to get the songs together for the Whiskey and really do some workshop in there. So yeah, spotted at the Whiskey, and then they performed there until August 21st, where they were fired because of their performance of The End, where Morrison got a little edible about some things. The Doors was recorded and produced by Paul Rothschild and Bruce Botnick at Sunset Sound Studio in Hollywood over about a week in late August 66. So they get together 65, 66. They're playing club shows, getting everything together. They record this in 66. It's released in 67. So the Doors really weren't the Doors for very long.
Right.
And that was really surprising me in doing the research because, come on, man, a year? We've all been in bands. Can you imagine in a year you're signed?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Also, in releasing the record, I'm not sure if this is a sign on how promising Elektra felt about them. It was released in January, which I thought, like, man, that's bold, right? Because, now I know January is a little different in California, but in terms of the retail spending season, January is a death sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to get it out before then, but something happened and they couldn't, from one of the research threads I was on. What I also found interesting was they used a 4-track tape machine. I figured they would have more tracks, but it was basically bass, drums, guitar, organ, and Morrison's vocals. On some songs.
I know there's a couple of them,
songs,
I know, but
and then the other track was used for like overdubs and the marxophone, just kind of ancillary stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. But Morrison was really into Friedrich Nietzsche, beat poetry, was an avaricious?
Voracious.
He liked to read a lot.
He liked to read.
So, which I knew he was into poetry and that stuff, but apparently dude was like really, really well read, which I thought was pretty cool. And obviously you can see that impact in his poetry and stuff. And then from there, I get geeky into gear. So if someone's got something they want to take from
that's
there,
great, Ron. The only thing that I saw that I found so this goes back to Ryan's jam band comment a minute ago. at the time that the Doors were the house band at Whiskey A Go Go, May 1966, one of the supporting acts, them.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I
Folks,
did
go
see
back and
that.
listen to the Van Morrison episode.
Mhm.
On the Doors' last night together with them at the Whiskey A Go Go. They did a 20-minute jam session of Gloria.
Yep. I saw that too.
You can't handle that on strong acid, dude. You just
so
can't
but
do
here,
that.
I mean, we all know the song Gloria, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can take that for 20 minutes, guys. Like, it's a good song, but that's a long, long Gloria version. So anyway, I saw that little tidbit and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yep. Yeah.
that's something.
Well, you think that's long? What about Vanilla Fudge did an entire album on The Beat Goes On?
Yeah.
That's two sides. That's actually really, you want to go through a psych experience. I would also say in terms of production, Ron, obviously you mentioned there was some bass. They hired a local bassist, Larry Netchell, and to apparently give some of the hits some more punch. But the one I was most surprised by, the album, of course, produced by Paul Rothchild. He also sings background vocals on Alabama Song.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's pretty wild. You don't usually get a producer laying down dubs.
Yeah. Putting down some
Yeah.
tracks.
The other thing was that their guitar player, Robbie Krieger, had a flamenco acoustic background. He had only been playing electric guitar for like a couple months before this, or a couple weeks before this. Yeah, you can say a guitar's a guitar, but that's a different style to go from flamenco to this. And you can hear the influence on his playing, but that was, I thought that was impressive. So, and he didn't use a pick. He just used his fingers.
Yeah, that's his guitar style. Almost seems to be a cross between what you mentioned with a kind of flamenco background and what the sort of imitation of sitar music that was coming out with Beatles and similar albums.
Psych. Yeah.
But you're I love that you brought up the 4-track thing, because I read that as well, and I think that speaks to how they were able to perform this, one, record it so quickly, and two, perform this live, because they didn't need a lot of extra tracks. They just it's a very stripped down band. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And as far as Manzarek, as much as I love a bass in anything, I got to give him props, because honestly, I was probably 10, 20 years of listening to the Doors before I realized there wasn't a bass. I always thought they had a bass player. Like, I'd look in pictures, I'd be like, where the fuck is he? I can hear him. No, and it's just Manzarek. And I think that is awesome. I think for the album, I'm glad they brought it in when they did. I think it makes a difference, a little bit more defined. But to be able to pull this off live, the four of them, I think is awesome. And it sounds great.
Yeah. And of course, the original production of this, although very limited, was in mono.
Yeah.
And I've heard, because I got to look at these things. I was looking at threads about people talking about different versions of which ones sound best. Come on, I was doing it. And I guess the original mono, and Rhino did a mono reissue like 2018 or something, but I guess it's much more present. It's like a little more raucous, it presented that way, rather than the spread that they chose for the stereo diffusion.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I listened to it online, and I did with headphones because, I had to do research late. I had organ and guitar left side, drums right side, and bass right side, and then vocals each side, or center. Was your copy the same way, Ryan?
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, with Jim kind of weirdly, both.
Yeah. I saw the same thing about it, the mono pressing, and there's a lot of mixes of this album, a lot. Um,
Yeah, there are.
and so I'd love to hear an original one just because that's the original one instead of all the different mixes and everything else. I would really like to hear that. I was kind of hoping you had a mono copy actually.
No, because then I would have to like shell out for it, and as we mentioned in the vibe check, that's not really maybe something I'm gonna spend the time on. You mentioned effects too, especially when it comes to Robbie. I don't know if you read this too. You probably did, but Rothschild did not want him to use effects pedals, especially wah-wah pedals. He said it's overwrought. We don't need them. But what they did have in the studio was that echo chamber, which you can hear on
God.
everything.
And it sounds so good.
It is cool.
Oh God. Where are we at, Bert?
Well, I was just going to say this. We can pivot into context. Where does this album fit into the Doors' kind of career? So obviously the debut album, right, their first one, it was the first of their 9 studio albums. However, they do have 24 albums to their credit. That's if you include all the best ofs and the lives and that kind of stuff. This album, the debut album, has sold more than 20 million copies worldwide. It is their highest selling album to date.
Wait, not a greatest hits?
Not a greatest hits. I was kind of surprised.
Isn't this though?
Number 2. I mean, it is in many ways, but number 2 was their 1985's best of. But the thing is, that album sold 6.3 million in comparison to 20 million, right? So I think that there's something to be said there for kind of that their seminal work was what they kind of debuted with. So I think it's also notable as well that 13 of their 24 albums, again, this is including all the best ofs and the live concert albums, 13 of the 24 albums have sold 1 million or more records. So that's a lot of records that were sold. So when the album first came out in 1967?
Yes, sir.
It spent 122 weeks on the Billboard 200 chart. It peaked at number 2 and was kept from the number 1 spot by Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Mm-hmm.
So, Beatles ruled everything, man. Break On Through to the Other Side was released as the group's first single, but was relatively unsuccessful. It didn't even make it into the top 100, Hot 100 Billboard chart. It peaked at number 126. However, their second single, Light My Fire, spent 23 weeks on the Hot 100 chart. It spent 3 weeks in the number 1 spot. And from what I was reading, it was really that single that propelled this album to the heights that it eventually achieved.
Did it say how long that version was?
It was the radio edit version. It was not the long. Yes,
dude.
Yeah,
when you can clip 4.5 minutes off a song and it's just there radio friendly. Holy shit!
Yeah. So no other singles charted, which I thought was interesting. Light My Fire and The End were listed in Rolling Stone's 2004 list of the 500 greatest songs of all time, which I thought was interesting because 500 greatest songs of all time. Okay, so that's going to be of all the songs ever, right? That's going to be a relatively exclusive list. Then you get 2 songs from the same artist, nay, 2 songs from the same album. That's something that's kind of remarkable. I'm not sure I agree that these are 2 of the 500 greatest songs of all time, but Rolling Stone is Rolling Stone. In 2003 and 2012, Rolling Stone magazine ranked this album number 42 on its list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The 2020 revision of that list saw this album drop to number 86, still in the top 100 of the 500 greatest albums of all time. And the other thing I had noted here was in 2015, the Library of Congress selected The Doors for inclusion in the National Recording Registry for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. So I thought that's a pretty big honor, right?
I can see that though. During that time period,
Oh yeah.
what do you associate? What album, what sounds do
Well,
you
I mean,
associate?
Bert just mentioned a big one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sergeant Pepper's, right?
but
Yeah.
so I mean, you had their Satanic Majesty's Request by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I think is that one I should look before I open my mouth. But I feel like that was pretty close to Odyssey and Oracle by Zombies. I mean, there's a lot of psych music happening right there. I mean, these guys were partially found by a psych band called Love. I mean, things were cooking, man. I mean, Rothschild himself was touching a lot of other psych people, including Janis Joplin. So, like, this was, the Doors were not alone in this.
Odyssey and
Oh,
Oracle.
no.
Odyssey and Oracle was 1968. That's a good call, Ryan. It's right in that same kind of vein. Yeah. I've got another Zombies reference later on, so talk about that.
Oh, you be careful.
So how about we take a minute to hear from this week's sponsor?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
New sponsor this week.
New sponsor.
And I got to tell you, I'm getting a little tired of this. I'm not tired of it, but I get reached out to from sponsors, and sometimes it shouldn't be me that's getting these, because like this one in particular, I hate to say it, but is kind of shamelessly self-promoting from one of our fellow podcasters. So in light of that, I would prefer that they read it than I, because I know that you would think that I'm the one that always reads it. That doesn't make any sense. But Ron, why don't you go ahead and take the lead on this one?
Sure. This episode of the 100 Albums podcast has been made possible by the generous support of Robin's Pig Yatas. Family owned and operated. Robin's Pig Yatas are sure to be a hit at your next backyard party. But what is a piñata, you ask?
Yeah, what is it, Ron?
Oh, Christ, I can barely read. At Robin's Piñatas, we combine the fun of the piñata with America's love of barbecue. Large heritage pigs are hollowed out and butchered. The remaining husk is brined, dried, and baked slowly in a clay oven for several days. The butchered meat is then slow cooked by Robin's son Ron. These delicious barbecue favorites are then stuffed back into the empty pig carcass, creating one-of-a-kind pig piñata. Quality is guaranteed as Robin personally tastes Ron's meat. In her mouth before she'd ever let anyone else have it. Then Robin encourages Ron to stuff that dry-aged rump with his large sausages and fill every gap with his pulled pork. And she won't let him stop until she sees his meat juice running out of every orifice. When your piñata arrives, the work is already done. Simply hang the piñata in your backyard, break out a baseball bat, and watch the party go from a 2 to a 10 as an assortment of barbecued meat splatters across the yard. Your guests will go feral collecting smoky meat treats, some for now and some in their pockets for later. Each piñata is made to order. You can write directly at Ron at 100 Albums Podcast at bertislow.com to get started. So what are you waiting for? Order one of Robin's piñatas today. Oh, God. Brian, I feel your trepidation now. I didn't understand it before, but it kind of does feel wrong to advertise your own products on this platform. It does.
I understand. Yeah, I mean, kind of a gross concept. Ron, is the other reason I didn't want to talk about it, because smashing open an empty pig full of barbecue is pretty gross. But
But
it's
I
fine.
mean, you got to keep the meat juicy, dude. I mean,
Oh my god.
Robin makes sure of that. And by the way, Ron, next
Just
time,
The meat juice.
Ron, just remember this next time I miss an episode.
Oh my
Let's just say
God.
when it comes to stuffing the pig yada, Ron is a backdoor man. The little pigs understand.
Oh my.
little pig, let me in.
Mhm.
That's what Robin said.
Uh,
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Wow. Wow.
You should be proud, dude. You should be
We've,
proud.
And entered a new era.
so the Doors.
So the doors. The back doors.
Are we the good, bad, ugly, dude?
Yes, we are. We are to good, bad, and ugly on the re-listen in the last couple of days. What has struck you about this album, guys? What's good? What's bad? What's ugly?
Well, good for me. I still think Ray Manzarek is great at making these songs interesting, because there's a lot of just jam grooves happening, and you think about a lot of the memorable stuff. It really is coming out of his keyboard decisions, and I feel like he was probably leading the charge on a lot of the songwriting, even though all of it is credited to the Doors.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of just sort of adding almost like a bossa beat to everything, I feel like John does fine, but Robbie's a pretty decent guitar player. Like, I actually gave that a headphone listen, and I honestly kind of forgot he was adding to a lot of the songs because Jim gets in the way, but he actually has some really good textures he's throwing in there.
I don't know. I agree, but I disagree. Like, if he's playing rhythm, I think he's phenomenal. His leads, I don't know if it's confidence or style or what. I really wish he'd just lay back and play rhythm. But
I wonder, you say leads, I wonder if part of that is just knowing that Ray was also playing the lead and the bass at the same time. Like, where do you put yourself at that point,
Well, and also too, Ron, you mentioned like a confidence aspect of things. They've been together for
right.
a year, and this is their first album. So that's a really interesting point. I wonder if you go back and listen to some of their later albums, from the early 70s, that would you hear a difference in perhaps that level of confidence?
Yeah. And I mean, you have songs like Peace Frog later.
I love me some Peace Frog. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh shit. What's every band I've ever been in except for ours, we played Roadhouse Blues.
Mm-hmm.
He plays good lead in that. So that's why I wonder if it's a confidence issue or not. But him and Manzarek do play so well off each other. For being two people, they cover a lot of sonic territory.
They do. Yeah, because it's a very thin ensemble in terms of adding harmony and things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say it's good. I would also say I think Break On Through.
The day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side.
Is still a really good song. I don't know. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it still has a little bit of edge to it. And I think it's probably my favorite song on the album. And I do like their Alabama song just because it's so quirky.
Show me the way to the next
And the end, I like it, but maybe less for the song itself, but more for the doors it opens for other bands on other albums later, if that makes sense.
Beautiful friend, this is the end. My only friend, the end.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious about that. Like, what do you mean?
Well, this is 1967. Even the Beatles weren't putting almost 12-minute songs on their records, right? I mean,
All right.
this is a really long form, open-ended, jazz-influenced track with spoken word.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Stay tuned,
yeah.
listeners.
Right.
Yeah,
know?
no, I feel like that's a huge and that's a great point, Ryan. That kind of epic, for lack of a better descriptor, song that's 8, 9, 10, 12 minutes long. You're gonna see that start to become more popular in the 70s in particular. But
So
I-
without the end, you wouldn't get Inagata Davida.
Don't you know that I'm loving you?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about, I mean, that's like the same time, right? When was Iron Butterfly was right around this time,
The early 70s.
early 70s. Okay,
Like,
I thought, yeah.
But we have. I mean, they weren't the only ones jamming out. I mean, Grateful Dead was already out in California with them. So, and they're a very different style of jam band. But
Right.
I mean, I do feel like in a lot of ways, the Doors embrace a jam band culture. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had what is good. The start and the end of the album are Break On Through and the end, which I thought was a really kind of nice thematic bookends for the record. I had some good blues. Backdoor Man's a fantastic song.
You mean eat your dinner, eat your pork and beans. I eat more chicken than any man ever seen. Yeah, yeah.
I think it's a cover, right? It was originally recorded by Howlin' Wolf, but I think that they do it some good justice. It's not square, I guess, is kind of what I'm thinking. I really like all of the organ, particularly in Soul Kitchen. But just all over the album, that 60s kind of psych vibe. I went down a rabbit hole about Soul Kitchen specifically. I thought that Smash Mouth, if you'll recall Smash Mouth, Walking on the Sun. Follow me. No, follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth.
It ain't no joke. I like to buy the world a token, teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
I was like, man, I'm hearing similarities between the hook in Soul Kitchen and Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth. Turns out Smash Mouth likely pulled that from Perry and Kinsley's 1966 Swans Splashdown. From the In Sound from Way Out, which was a pioneer album in kind of early electronic music. Also, 1964's She's Not There by the Zombies.
Well, no one told me about her.
Has a very similar kind of vibe. So it took me kind of down this rabbit hole of, hey, a lot of this stuff sounds similar around this time, and then Smash Mouth ripped it off later on. generally speaking, a good variety of sounds. Not all of the songs are the same type of. Well, so you got one's blues, one's you get a lot of the '60s kind of psychedelic rock, or whatever you're going to call it. But there's also the Alabama song that Ryan mentioned, which is very different from a lot of the other elements. So I thought it was nice that you're getting a variety as you're going through the record, kept me interested. Right, it wasn't the same sound song after song. And we've talked about in previous records, previous albums, where you develop some fatigue by the time you get to the end. I don't feel fatigued, at least until I get to the end. And then, when I'm at 11 minutes and 35 seconds of that song, maybe I'm a little fatigued. But, so that's a good, on the bad side, I felt like Light My Fire is too long.
If I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire.
The radio edit is probably more palatable. I thought that went on a little bit too long. The other thing that I noted was, and it's not good or bad, it is there. In the end, one of the lyrics that is spoken, I guess, is "Ride the Snake."
Ride the snake. Ride the snake.
And this is apparently a reference to a variety of different things: risky behavior, riding a motorcycle. It could be a lot of different things. But there was a sketch on Saturday Night Live. I want to say it was back in either the late 90s, early aughts, maybe. Jim Carrey was the host. And it was Jimmy Tango's Fat Busters, where the catchphrase from the sketch was "Ride the Snake."
Folks, if you're serious about weight loss, then you shouldn't be afraid to ride the snake.
Ride the snake.
And the whole thing was Jimmy Tango, he's got this weight loss routine for you. He's like a pitch man. And the weight loss routine is essentially meth. And his whole thing is "ride the snake," and the words come at the screen. So anyway, I had never caught that before in the song, because it's deeper into the song. I want to say it's like 6 minutes in or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, Jimmy Tango's Fat Busters.
Man, you're pulling together some interesting.
I know, right?
I'm trying to make it interesting, guys.
I don't remember that sketch at all.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to send. I'll put a clip in the episode here when Jim Carrey says "ride the snake," surely, but I'll send you the full.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
You got very animated there, and I was almost like, "Take it easy, baby. Take it as it comes."
Take it easy, baby. Take it as it comes.
But
What about you, Ron? What's good, bad, ugly on your end?
Okay, so on Break On Through, did you guys catch on to the guitar sounds? Dun, 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 boom. Dun, 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 boom. He does a guitar slide.
You know the day destroys the night.
As an accent on that, and I never picked up on that before until I did the headphone listen. So I was pleasantly surprised that there was a lot more nuance in this than I initially thought, because I was honestly just going into this, I'm like, okay, it's The Doors, I've listened to it a million times, not saying I know it, but I was really confident. But that was a nice little, hey, I didn't notice that before. Yeah. So I thought that was cool.
Picking up these little nuance. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Just like on, what is it? 20th Century Fox.
But she's no drag, just watch the way she walks. She's a 20th Century Fox.
Are there footsteps, like foot stomps? Did you guys pick up on that?
I did
not hear those. No,
I can't tell if they're hand claps or foot stomps. They really sound like foot stomps to me. So I thought that was cool. I really like the marxophone on Alabama Song.
Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
I knew the whiskey bar. God, and I can't remember it now, but that line, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. I didn't realize it was this song. So, that was kind of cool. I really like the interplay between keys and guitar in 20th Century Fox. Soul Kitchen, I wrote in my notes, Bert, Smash Mouth really ripped the doors off on this one.
Yes.
There had to be a Smash Mouth reference in here
Maybe.
somewhere. But there was a lot of stuff.
Brian's like, no, there didn't.
Yeah, right. End of the Night. I wrote in my notes that this is a sonic version of Edvard Munch's The Scream. That's just what it reminded me of. Yeah. So I hate the end. That is,
we're out of the good.
yes.
Okay.
No, there's tons of good on here.
No, we can go to bad and ugly. That's all right. Let's get nasty.
Let's get
Okay,
ugly.
fine. Fuck the end. It's too long. I don't like it. That's all.
What? So you don't like it because it's long?
No, I have never liked it. I think it's long, it's droning, it has little point. Lyrically, it never snagged me as interesting. I have never latched onto this song. The rest of the album, yeah, there was moments, but I never have been able to do it. Riders on the Storm.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born.
Can't do that one either. I don't like it. It's just that long droning. This album's a gnat's ass from being one-dimensional for me too. Like, I got fatigue on this, even though they switch it up, which is probably why I like Alabama Song so much. That polka vibe, right? Really kind of.
Alabama Song's a cover.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah. Where does that fall on the split? Is that first song, second side, dude?
It is fifth song, first side. Alabama Song you're talking about? Yeah, fifth song, second to last song on the first side.
Okay,
in the original pressing? I don't know about subsequent.
Well, there was some added tracks on other pressings. Yeah. Ryan, what's the first song, second side? Did you catch that?
First song, second side is Backdoor Man.
All right. I like their version of that too.
It is interesting. Their hit was Light My Fire, which is first side, last song.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. That is odd. What do you think was ugly, dude?
Me personally? Mm-hmm. First of all, if we want to go back to the Alabama Song being a cover, if you don't know, that's from a Kurt Weill opera called Little Mahogany, and it's awesome.
Whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
So if you like that song and you want to hear some interesting old school opera, what was it, like 1930s? I don't want to say, it might even be 1930.
1920, the reused in the 1930 opera.
Okay. Hey, music history, doing me well.
It was set to music by Kurt Weill for the 1927 play Little Mahogany.
When Brecht did the text.
That's right. And then reused for the 1930 opera Rise and Fall of the City of Mahogany.
There you go. Good stuff.
I didn't know that Bowie did a version of this too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. No, don't ask why.
That sounds very Bowie-y.
It does, actually.
I just want to say real quick into the end, because I have mixed feelings about that track too, Ron. On the one hand, I see it as, especially in 1967, kind of a landmark recording of psychedelic music, which I get pretty hard into psych. I even like some of the psych that's coming out now. But to have that, to have a studio allow them to do something that open is pretty interesting. And the whole vibe of it is such a time capsule to me. Jim bothers me, but Jim's part of just generally my bad and ugly. I find, I know too much about him, which makes it difficult when there's not enough time in the podcast. I really don't want to get into that negative energy about it. But
you're talking like childhood, personal life stuff.
Not childhood.
Okay.
I'm talking about him as an adult and how he behaved.
Yeah.
But for all the credit that he's given in the group, especially in terms of like poetry and lyrics, I don't think it's that good. I read through the lyrics, which that was already asking more of me than I'm willing to do. And I think it's not that great. I honestly think Jim was perfect for this band for a couple of reasons. One, he's an antagonist and a provocateur. So having him in the front of the stage was great because it sparked people's interest. And he was very attractive. If we're really going to talk about, why he was a famous part of the band, I mean, you guys have all seen this album cover, right? I mean,
his face is
his bedroom eyes. He's like, but I think that's part of the whole reason he wanted to be in a band. I think he liked the idea of being in control and almost like leading people into his world, cult-like, because he wanted to have as much fun without being questioned. And in true rock and roll style, I think his main goal was just to see how many drugs he could take and get laid a lot. And I think the poetry is about as thin as that.
Valid. I mean, really.
Bert, I will tell you, I find it interesting that Soul Kitchen was one of your favorites. That was on my remove from album list.
If there was one song you could remove, yeah.
And also 20th Century Fox, I wrote down that it was probably really clever when it came out, almost like Bare Naked Ladies clever.
Yeah.
But
that was my jettison. If I could kick one off, that was one.
It's not a very good song, and the lyrics themselves are not really all that clever either.
No,
in my opinion. But I think the rest of the album, I mean, I put it on a couple of times, and there are good performances on here. It's a good basic psych record. If you'd never heard a psych record before, it has a lot of different styles jumbled in there. So I don't want to get too harsh on the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would say you if you were going to do this, you'd be better off buying this than a greatest hits album. If you're going to buy something from the Doors, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Did you think I Looked at You was their attempt at pop?
I smiled at you, you smiled at me, and we're on our way.
I don't know. That's
Or influence? It sounds to me like they were trying to go for a more pop sound on that.
I feel like Break On Through is closer to me because that almost sounds like it could have been a Rolling Stones song. Imagine Mick Jagger.
Well, but
on that.
I Looked at You has that, to me, at least the first probably 30 seconds of that song has a very early Beatles vibe to me.
Yeah.
Like a I can't think of any of their early songs off the top of my head because I'm an idiot, but that kind of pop appeal that you're talking about, Ron, I can hear that. Yeah.
Can we get back to the Rolling Stones doing Break On Through? Holy shit, Ryan. I'm going to think about that the rest of the night. As I'm going to bed, I'm going to assemble that in my head. I want to hear that now.
Yeah, it would probably be good. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't.
I'm a huge Stones fan, so for me, I'm like, oh, that would be great.
But with the Stones, what they were doing right here, would they have been interested in doing a song like that? So I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Who the hell am I? I'm not.
I mean, odds are they probably covered it at some point, right? It was such a huge song. And the Stones had such a long career. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I just did a quick YouTube search or Google search, and I'm not seeing anything other than the Doors. So,
well, they were doing, the Royals' Majesties,
yeah,
this time. So, but anyhow, back to the Doors. Damn, the Marxophone. Had you guys ever heard of that before?
no.
No, I hadn't. I thought
I'm actually
obviously it caught my eye too.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you hadn't, Ryan, and not to be demeaning to you at all, Bert, but with Ryan's. Well, shit, man,
I get it.
this guy's a damn doctor. But I thought that was just the instrument fitting in. It's like it's got a metal bar that goes across it. It's pretty much a harpsichord with a metal bar across it, and the ricochet of the metal bar is what gives it that tremolo kind of sound. I thought that was one, an interesting choice, and two, it's a keyboard instrument essentially. It fits in really well in the Alabama song. It's a quirky song, and that's a quirky instrument. So I thought that was pretty neat. I dug on that.
Yeah, I always like a cool instrument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's also just fun to say Marxophone. I don't know about you, but I read it. And the first thing I thought was, which Marx Brothers movie was that from?
I went to Karl Marx.
Oh, jeez.
It's a socialist instrument.
Probably was. Yeah. Or was it used by Richard Marx?
Oh God.
Sorry. He wasn't even making music yet.
I know, right? Any other good, bad, ugly?
No.
All right, results and ratings time.
Yeah.
Ron, if you and I should mention this too, listeners. The reason we always ask Ron what he would give it is because he didn't actually rate the albums when we were going through the initial listen on the poster. So
It's almost like he had a newborn and a barely toddler during that time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but-
actually, it was just Ron was too damn lazy and didn't figure we were going to be doing a
couldn't
podcast
figure-
2 years later.
I couldn't figure out the Google Doc.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, Ron. You were busy developing the Picchiata.
Dude, you don't make that happen first try. Do you know the years of R&D that went in there? I mean, this is a family generational thing.
Here's my question: I envision we're totally off the rails now. I envision, so you know how so Shock Top Beer has like their car they drive around that has like the mohawk across the top. You get the Wiener Mobile for Oscar Mayer. Is there a Piggiata Miata?
Dude, some of our Piggiatas are bigger than a Miata. You can actually get
Wow.
a Miata size Piggiata.
That was a good rebound.
That was a nice setup.
Okay. So anyway, back to results and ratings. Focus. Ron, if you were able,
Oh fuck yeah, it is my
if
turn.
you could give this album a rating 1 to 10, where would you put The Doors? The Doors.
I know we're not supposed to give them history points, but I'm going to give a history point because it is
You can give it
significant.
whatever you want, man. It's your rating.
Yeah, but Ryan gave me shit a couple weeks ago because I had to base it on the album and not because of history.
Whatever.
I give it a 6.
6. Okay, interesting. I gave it a 6.5. Drew gave it an 8, and Ryan also gave it a 6.5. So our average score was a 7.0. So Ron, you're right in that kind of neighborhood. Out of 100 albums on the poster, we brought this in at number 32.
Mm-hmm.
Second Chances. Ryan, would you change your score? 6.5. You own it.
Yeah, I mean, 6.5 is fine. I might give it a 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go too lower than that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it does exactly what it's supposed to do, and me being tired of it is not maybe its fault. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm the same way. I'm fine with my rating. So
Ron, would you change your rating that you just gave a couple seconds ago after this conversation?
this
I
in-depth-
would. I would.
You would?
Yeah.
That's why I ask you. I want to make sure that I ask you what your rating is before you know ours, so that we don't influence you.
Oh,
You
Drew-
cheeky bastard.
Drew, out of curiosity, since you gave this an 8, how do you defend that? Oh, nothing? Oh, well, what's wrong? A hot air balloon got your tongue?
He can't hear us all the way up there in that hot air balloon. So
Yeah,
okay,
on Mount Olympus, where
Yes.
he stares down at us.
with judgment. Hey, so it's that time, guys. Let's go to Margaritaville. If this album or The Doors had a chain restaurant similar to Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, what would it be called, and what would the theme be?
I went a little different direction with this
Okay.
this week. I hope that's okay. I actually have 2 in real life references that answer this question. Soul Kitchen was actually a tribute to a soul restaurant called Olivia's Place. And the lyrics are about his late night visits there. So I feel like that would be a good Doors restaurant.
Absolutely.
But in addition to that, and much more embarrassing, the Hard Rock Cafe is based off of the design on Morrison Hotel.
I did not know that.
So, given that we only gave him a 6, I'm going to say, hey, you like the Doors? Go to the Hard Rock Cafe.
Wow. Hey, learned something new. That's awesome. So I had this was a weak showing this week for me. Soul Kitchen, duh. Right. An independent, you know how every little town has like that little independent, storefront shop that they make like, gourmet cupcakes and stuff like that, like a little.
We know you know.
I know, yeah.
Because I got the gourmet cupcake from your neighborhood in my latest Burt's Booze box.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I would have a little gourmet cupcakery called Bake It As It Comes. And then lastly, I've got like a Jewish cuisine / bakery called 20th Century Locks.
Oh, I like
Microphone drop.
Oh, 20th Century Locks. I like that. So have they been aged since then? Or
I mean, maybe. Ron, you got anything?
No, there's a lot of good ideas in here, but dude, time ran short.
Yeah, no idea. Well,
I'm kind of surprised, Ron, given the commercial this week. I thought you were going to say you could have one that's just called The Burnt End.
Yeah.
That's good.
I should have looked ahead, Brian. You're right on that one.
Or, next time just maybe coordinate this with your mother, would you?
I mean, I'll do the best I can. We really don't talk a whole lot. Our relationship is just built on, business.
hey, hot take time. Who's got a hot take about this album or the Doors?
Ryan?
No, this has got the Tom Petty effect on me, I think. I don't have an opinion strong enough to feel hot.
I don't have an opinion strong enough to really feel anything. Now, 90s Ron would have tons of things to say, but current Ron really don't.
Bert?
So the take that I had, which I'm now reconsidering as I'm looking at the lyrics, what part was it? Okay, there it is. Okay, so my hot take or my take is in another universe. So we're on Earth 616, so we'll say Earth 828 in another reality.
Hey, pal, did you get a load of the nerd?
What's up, nerds? Light My Fire is an awesome song by Johnny Cash.
Dude, did he cover that on that cover album?
Oh, I
He
don't
did
know.
not.
I didn't. I didn't look.
Okay.
So I was listening. I was doing the headphone listen as I'm starting to try to do more regularly now. And when it's like the second verse, the time to hesitate is through. No time to wallow in the mire. As I was listening to those lyrics, I could hear Johnny Cash singing those lyrics, and so how would the song be different if it was a Johnny Cash song versus a Doors song? So that was just kind of my thought at the time.
You know, I will tell you, as a hit,
It's almost 11 o'clock Eastern right now, so
I will tell you, as a hit, it would work better with his vocal inflection, because one of the things I always thought was crazy terrible about those lyrics is that fire is an end word, because
Yes.
it's a diphthong with an R sound. You know, baby, won't you light my fire?
yeah, Meyer, funeral pyre,
Fire.
yeah. But that would go well with Johnny Cash's style.
It could.
That
It
would.
could.
That
Because
could.
otherwise, you have to go fire. I don't know. How do you do it?
So
Yeah.
there you go. Anyway,
Yeah,
not
Stone.
super hot, but an interesting thought experiment. Right. So that's it, guys.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun.
It was.
100 Albums family. Now, please go listen to The Doors' self-titled debut album and let us know what you think. You can write to us at 100albums@bertislo.com. That's 100albums at BERTISLO.com. You can connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at 100 Albums Podcast, or check out our website at 100albumspodcast.com. And if you've made it this far in the podcast, tell a friend. You must like what we're doing here. We're giving you some free content, and it's great. And we're trying hard.
Yeah, and tell us what we got wrong. We've only had one person come on
That's right.
with the cojones
That's right.
to tell
To
us.
step up to the mic.
That's right.
That's right. Until then, please join us next week as we'll be talking about Blur's album Park Life. That'll be fun.
I'm looking forward
And
to that one.
we're looking forward to Drew returning back to Terra Firma and joining us. Hopefully.
And we have a special guest next week. Is that correct, Bert?
No.
I thought Molly was going to join us. She had a lot of opinions about park life.
No, she's I tell you what, the Molly's cat defense system has really taken off. I never see her anymore.
Oh, celebrity status. Yeah.
Well, she's always working. She's at the warehouse packing up boxes and sending them off. So yeah, no.
It's just like when Stimpy won the Gritty Kitty Award. You know, like
Oh.
All right, folks, that's it. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
Later.
I'm good.
All right. Want to move into background? Or are you timing out?
I just wanted to be an easy edit timeout. Bert, what is going on behind you? It's like someone's forging a lightsaber. What is?
It's a sound. I can turn it off if it's
No.
distracting.
I just wanted to know, and I didn't
Like
want to
it-
say it
I
like
also
it's
did.
part of the flow of things. You can leave
No,
it. On.
no, all right. We're gonna edit back in. Ryan, what's happening behind Bert is your acid kicked in from listening to the fucking Doors.
This is the end. The one I sit on, my end.
Edit back in. Okay. That was good. I like this. The signal, right?